Hey guys, so today my group will present about the Chinese Civil War. My group including me and Danny.
To discover about Chinese Civil War, we need to have some background information. So, the Chinese Civil War happened between April 1927 and May 1950. It's the war between two sides, Republican and the Communists. The Republicans support by the Western with the US and the Allies, and the Communists support by USSR. So, the leader of Republican is Chiang Kai-shek. He was born in 31st October 1887 and died in 5th April 1975. Before, he was studying in Japan for military, and here the longest serving Lord Royal ruler of China. He was served in army for 46 years, and his biggest successful in Northern expedition, the last war to unite China against the Beijing government. This government reigned after the fall of Qing dynasty.
Mao Zedong was the leader of the Chinese Communist Party. He was born in 1893 and passed away in 1976. He ruled as chairman of the Communist Party of China for 27 years. His political philosophy was known as Maoism, which was the revolution theory inspired by the Marxists, the Leninists, and the Stalinist traditions. He has a complex legacy because on one hand it achieved China's sovereignty, but on the other hand it causes years of terror and suffering for its people. I will continue with the timelines and the fact of Chinese Civil War. It started with the May 4th movement, which caused by their young students in China began to resist the entry of Japan into their country. It led to a massive protest called the Treaty of the South in the summer of 1919, where it also formed the KMT called the Kuomintang for the People's Republic of China size, led by Chiang Kai-shek. Later on, the Shanghai Massacre in April 27 is called Shanghai Massacre because it slaughtered many of the CCP in response to their rise among the country's poor masses. It also marked the start of Chinese Civil War between the KMT and the CCP. By that August, KMT also took control of Beijing and declared that China and its government were under their control. Later on in 1931, Japan took Manchuria and held territory in China, which their land increased in 1937, where also they invaded the Chinese mainland. Briefly, the CCP and KMT united to defeat Japan, but the fight resumed in 1933, where KMT won major battles against CCP. After they've been defeated many times by KMT, CCP seek for a new leader, which I already introduced in the last part, is Mao Zedong. More Japanese aggressions in 1937 led to another unification of CCP and KMT, but soon after Japan surrendered in 1945, which also the ending of World War II, the warfare resumed on both sides, where they tried to take control of empty Japanese territory. Then by 1946, the Chinese Civil War happened again, but this time the CCP controlled the scorecard, even though KMT had the support of the US, which they gave them money, like 400 million to support and fight against the communists. later on, the CCP took the KMT capital of Nanjing in 1949 after winning many battles throughout 1948. With Nanjing under their control, Mao declared in victory of October of 1949 and declared that communists would rule the new People's Republic of China. So KMT had to relocate it to Japan in December of 1949. Until now, the US and United Nations only recognize one true China, which is you already know right now. And they still don't see Taiwan as as a country. So some of you may wonder what's America's role in the Chinese Civil War. So first, they sent troops to Japanese-controlled territory for KMT to take over the control of the land. Then later, they also give money, which is $400 million, to prevent the communist control of China. But after General George Marshall broke an agreement, many agreements by 1946, which created mistrust between two governments. But despite that, they also sent military and financial aid to the floundering nationalists continue, though not at the level that Chiang Kai-shek would have liked.
So after losing the war in China, the US lost a chance to stop the new superpower race, because when Deng Xiaoping took control China and he made a new chain, a big chain for China in 1978 when he opened the country and started trade with the world. And also he sent people around the world and studied good things to bring back to China. He mainly focused on agriculture, economy, technology, and also about the army to defend his country. And in only 40 years, he made China become second superpower after the US. And so far, between US and China, they are having the trade war, which also can call the Cold War.
So that's the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.